It's been a very tough time for the whole family. We're all very worried about Jennifer.
How do you think the public looks at you?
It depends. I think that the people that do not know me, they probably look at me as a monster.
As a monster?
Yes. And that is because of the information that has come out. And I cannot speak about what happened. So they take the narrative that they see from the arrest warrants and what is being reported in the press, and they draw their own conclusions. So I've already been convicted in their mind.
What do you want people watching to know?
I want them to know that this is a very, very challenging time for my whole family, and we just have to be patient to get to the other side and see what happened.
Do you have any message for Jennifer's family?
Yes, I send my prayers. I had my differences with Jennifer, like many people do when they go through a marriage. It didn't work out for us, but that doesn't mean that I wish her ill in any way.
Where do you see this going for you?
I tried to go day by day. When it first started, I seriously pinched myself a couple of times, and I said, this cannot be true. I'm dreaming this. I'm wearing orange, and I'm in a cell, 6 feet by 9 feet, and this cannot be true. So it's a day by day, hoping we'll get through this.
Do you think you've been treated fairly by the criminal justice system?
I do.
You do?
Yes. I think with the information they had, they did the best they could. And I understand they have tremendous pressure on them. And it's also statistically, when something like this happens, 90 or 95%, it's the spouse. So I can understand why people feel like this.
And your answer to that is?
What's the
when
question?
people say, yes, 90% of the time it is the spouse.
But it's 90%, it's not 100%.
So when people...
I'm in the 5 or 10% category.
So yeah, because people automatically say, oh yeah, people say the spouse did it.
Mm-hmm. I know, but I know what I've done and I know what I haven't done. So I have to stand and fight and hope that the truth is going to come out.
Do you have any thoughts about that, about her disappearance or what's happened?
I do, but I'd rather not speak about that today.
But at some point?
Some point.
Before she disappeared, what was your relationship with Jennifer?
As you know, we were in a very contentious divorce that was fueled by her attorneys.
Were you speaking on the phone?
We're speaking on the phone, yes.
And it was cordial?
And we also met a couple of times when we would have drop-offs for the kids. Yes, it was very cordial. 2 days before she disappeared, she invited me to play basketball at her house with the kids. And I did.
You're not allowed to have contact with the children at all?
I do not.
How is that for you?
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. This is a very tough time. I'm sure they have a lot of questions. I'm sure they're missing their mom, and I'm sure they're missing their dad. And I'm here, and I will be able to support them and help them through this time.
Talk to me a little bit about that, about the emotional toll of not having your children and not being able to contact them.
It's hard to describe. I think only if you live through this, you can understand what it is. I wake up every day and I feel like somebody's sitting on me, on my chest. It's terrible not to have your children. I don't think anything compares to it.
When people speculate that you wanted Jennifer out of the way,
mm-hmm.
How do you respond to that?
Well, that's ludicrous because I never wanted Jennifer out of the way. Even if I could get sole custody, I would still not take it because I would want my children to have a relationship with their mother. Because I care about the children.
But that is interesting that, because the perception is contentious, ugly divorce and a motive clearly to do something.
Mm-hmm. My motive has been for the past 2 years to move on with my life. I have 5 beautiful children. I had Michelle, and I had a profession that I loved.
You and Michelle are not to be in contact.
Yeah. I think when you love somebody, you have to respect and accept what's best for them. And if her legal team believes that that's best for her, then I have to accept it, and vice versa.
You still love her?
Of course.
Do you believe she loves you?
I think so.
Do you think you'll ever be back together?
I would hope so.
Are you worried that there may be more charges?
Again, of course I'm worried. This is a very scary experience. I have to stand and fight and hope that the truth is going to come out.
Yeah, everybody prays for Jennifer, to find Jennifer. And the kids have 2 parents that they need them.
It's just a tragedy. It makes me sad because, like I said, I've been very close to the entire family for almost 12 years now. So it's not easy to look at it from the distance. So I hope it gets resolved and things fall back into place.
Thank you for watching this video from NBC4 New York. You can subscribe by tapping the button below me, and on the left you can see our latest updates, investigations, and digital exclusives. We'll see you next time.